Dads, what's the one moment you knew your kid was manipulating you? For me, it was when my 8-year-old son Marcus asked if he could have a sleepover party that I realized I'd been completely outmaneuvered by someone who still needed help tying his shoes. It was a Thursday evening in late October when Marcus approached me on our worn leather couch, clutching his favorite superhero action figure with a slightly melted cape. Dad, can I ask you something really important? The serious tone made me look up from my phone immediately. In my experience, when Marcus used that particular voice, it usually meant either someone was in trouble or he wanted something significant. Sure, buddy, what's up? He climbed up next to me, turning the action figure over thoughtfully. I could practically see the gears turning in his head as he carefully considered his approach. You know how Tommy's dad let him have 5 friends over for his birthday sleepover last weekend? The one with the pizza and movie marathon? I set my phone aside. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. Well, his dad is pretty cool for doing all that, right? I mean, not every dad would be that awesome. Marcus paused, studying my face carefully. You're way cooler than Tommy's dad. Like, way cooler. Tommy even said so at school today. He did, huh? Oh yeah, absolutely. He said you're probably the coolest dad in our entire class. Maybe even in the whole school. Marcus looked up at me with those impossibly innocent blue eyes he'd inherited from his mother. Remember when you taught us how to make those epic paper airplanes? And when you helped build that awesome blanket fort? I felt myself warming under the praise, despite sensing where this was headed. And, well, since you're obviously much cooler than his dad, and since my birthday is coming up next month, maybe I could have 7 friends over? You know, just to prove that Tommy was totally right about you being the coolest? I laughed, shaking my head. 7 friends? That's a lot of kids, buddy. But Dad, you're the coolest dad ever. Coolest dads can totally handle 7 kids, right? His voice took on a concerned tone. I mean, if you think it might be too much, I totally understand. Not every dad is cut out for that level of awesome responsibility. Before I could respond to this masterful guilt trip, my wife Sarah walked in carrying laundry. She took one look at our scene and started chuckling. Marcus, go brush your teeth. It's almost 8:30. But Mom, Dad and I were just having this really important conversation about how cool he is and maybe planning my birthday party and teeth. Now, we can discuss party planning tomorrow. After Marcus trudged upstairs, Sarah sat beside me with that knowing grin. You realize what just happened here, right? I shrugged. He wants to have a sleepover party. 7 kids instead of 5. Oh, honey, Sarah said, patting my arm sympathetically. You just got completely played by an 8-year-old. The whole coolest dad routine, the careful comparison to Tommy's dad, the way he made you feel like you had to prove your coolness by saying yes to something bigger. That kid just ran a masterclass in psychological manipulation. I sat there replaying the conversation, the flattery, the strategic comparison, the gentle challenge to my parental coolness. She was absolutely right. When Marcus came back downstairs, minty fresh and ready for bed, I looked at him with newfound appreciation and wariness. Marcus, that was pretty impressive back there with a whole sleepover conversation. He tilted his head, expression perfectly innocent. What do you mean, Dad? The way you convinced me that I needed to prove I was cooler than Tommy's dad by letting you have more friends over. Marcus's innocent facade cracked, and a mischievous grin spread across his face as he dropped the act entirely. So, did it work? I looked at my son, this small person who had just demonstrated negotiation skills that could probably land him a job in sales. You know what, kid? Yeah, it worked. You can have your 7 friends over. He pumped his fist triumphantly, then looked at me with sudden seriousness. Dad, Mom always says I get my persuasion skills from you. She says that's probably why she married you in the first place. Is that true? I looked over at Sarah, who was now laughing so hard she had tears streaming down her cheeks. Apparently, the talent for manipulation runs in the family, and I had no one to blame but myself.